Ooh boy. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist. And today we're going to be working on an IBM PS2. This is technically not an IBM PS2. This is an external floppy drive, but this is an external floppy drive that theoretically should work with my IBM PS2 Model 80. Look at the cord on this thing. This thing is massive. You could have this floppy drive on the other side of the room. The issue is we got to get our PS2 Model 80 working first because it's not working right now. I was hoping that it would be working for us. I just have not had time to make sure that it was working in advance. And so let's talk about the issues that we run into when we're working on an IBM PS2 Model 80 or any microchannel IBM computer. Oh, and of course, all right, let's switch to this so you can see this beast. Here we go. It's taking up basically the whole Big Bad Bench. And so this thing is massive. The first thing I just noticed is that the VGA thumb screw or standoff thing is coming out, and that's preventing the VGA from connecting properly. So let's tighten that up. Oof. And then I'm gonna plug in our VGA. Okay. So let's show you this thing. Look at this giant, beautiful system. I think it weighs like 80 pounds or 60 pounds. It's massive, but it's a nice machine if you can get it working. So this is a 386 computer, 386DX, and I think I added, nope, there's no math coprocessor in there right now. There's so much somewhat proprietary about these computers. Look at these weird memory cards. They're kind of cool, but they're also kind of weird. I've seen random boards from the late 70s and early 80s that have this type of IBM RAM on it. I guess IBM reused them for this thing. So the thing about IBM PS2s is you need reference disks. I think I have a real one here somewhere. No, they've all left me. We have no real IBM reference disks. Anyway, there are these things called reference disks. Is it in the floppy? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Reference disks. And what these do is they basically interact with the BIOS on these computers. And for every card that you have plugged in, there's a file called an ADF. You need to have the ADFs on your reference disk so that when when the system configures it, it knows, okay, this is this card, blah, blah, blah. And so in order to actually use your IBM PS2, you need a working floppy drive. And so this was my supposedly working IBM floppy drive. And at one point it worked for me to actually get this thing configured, but it's not working today. So I don't know exactly what's going on. So what I did was basically I cut a couple of pins in the floppy connector, in the floppy cable, and that theoretically should let you use regular floppy drives in these things. It worked previously, it's not working today, so I don't know exactly what's going on. And we can see here we have, this is the floppy thing here. But one of the things that happens with these is that there's bad capacitors in the floppy drive itself, and so you got to take the floppy drive apart and take care of it. One of the things we're going to do, since this is not booting properly, I guess, let me show you. And let's have some beautiful ASMR startup noises here. Microchannel goodness indeed. How's it going? No, I didn't say hi to folks in the chat. All right, look at this beautiful thing. I'm not going to interrupt the. All right, let's turn this on. Listen to this power switch. and then listen to the hard drive as we boot up, and I won't speak for a moment. Okay. All right, you said my mic level. It sounds like my breaker pen lift up. Yes. Oh, now you can't see me. Shoot, I had some technical difficulties this week. Oh my God, today's stream is going just swimmingly. Let's see. Can we do this? Hey, there you are. Now you can see me. All right, so you can see what happened here is basically nothing is configured inside of the computer. And so it just boots to basic in ROM. All right, so let me shut this thing off and let me say hi to folks in the chat. Sorry, folks. All right, what do we got here? Man, there's so many people and I missed it. Okay, we got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, Mr. Check Gadget, Trina's Techno Babble, Francois Raval, Jack68K, Starbuck Tech, Alan Gracia, Gut Bomb, All Things DG, I803866SX, nice. We have a DX today. Epictronics is here. Who else is here? III DIY is here. Garth Beagle's here. All right, I'm sorry if I missed anyone. Say hi again if I missed you. Callan, hello. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is simplify the configuration. So the way that you take cards out of microchannel is that there's these screws on the back. You unscrew those. Sorry, I can't show you unscrewing. You unscrew those and then you just lift the card out. You got to make sure when you put cards in that the little tabs go on the outside and that the screw goes around there. This is a scanner card. I kind of wish I hadn't thrown away this scanner. I don't need this scanner card, but basically I just had it in here to prevent it from getting destroyed somewhere else. This is a CD-ROM interface card, and the CD-ROM is non-functioning, so I do want to work on that at some point. This interface board is to run only MS-DOS CD-ROM extensions programs. These must be run within MS-DOS version 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 on IBM PS2 50, 60, or 80. This board does not support OS2. So we're not going to use the CD-ROM today. Maybe we'll come back to that again in the future. This giant monstrosity right here is an IBM SCSI card. I'm hoping that we can get this SCSI card working with a blue SCSI, but we will see. This is an ultra-wide differential card. Luckily, I found the card cheap on eBay, and I just happen to have this cable. The cable has a weird edge connector, and I just happen to have the cable. So that was very fortunate, but we're not going to play with that right now. As you saw with the system, oh, you might not have seen it, but basically the system booted up with 2 megs of RAM, which is what's on this card. This board is a memory expansion board. I forget exactly how much. Look at the beautiful bodges on this beast. I forget how much. I think this might bring me up to 12 megs or something like that. So yeah, we got to keep that one in there. We need more RAM than just 2 megs because that's just ridiculous. And then the other card that's in here is the ESDI controller for the main hard drive, and this is a 115 meg ESDI drive. Okay, so now what we got to do is we got to get the floppy out of here. Looks like John needs to upgrade the big bad overflow bench. I did so much reorganization this week. That's partially why I'm out of sorts today. So what we do is we just kind of pull on the top of this thing, and it makes awful sounds. And then there's two more little things on the bottom, and then your front plate comes off. Look at how sexy this machine is. I have not restored this thing, so it still has like tape residue and stuff, and it needs a good thorough cleaning. I'll also show you my battery mod since we've lost battery anyway. Apparently my mod didn't work, but whatever. I'll still show it to you. So these are the original IBM. Oh, I can't show you to you. I glued it shut. So this is a 6-volt battery. And so what I did was I chopped this end off and then put 2 of the Mac style half AA batteries inside here. And it worked for a while. So I don't know, I guess it ran out of juice or something. Let's see if we have 6 volts coming into this thing, coming out of this thing. In, out, we don't know which way we're going today. Yeah, we're still getting voltage, so maybe it just got disconnected. Some kind of an interposer. I forget what that is. The other bad thing about these is they have like this sound deadening foam that just decomposes, and it's just disgusting. Like, there, look, I just touched it and look at my fingers. DIY is probably hurling a little bit in his mouth. Okay, so anyway, we gotta get the floppy drive out now. I'm gonna unplug this stuff so I don't accidentally like yank on it too hard or something. Ugh. It puts the gloves on. Alright, let me take this. There's a little tab that you lift up, and then you take this and you just rip the drive out, and it comes out super easy. Because IBM wanted you to be able to work on these things. I think, is there also another release on these ones? I forget. Is there a second release in this model? Epitronics did a nice episode on cleaning up one of these things and getting all that foam out. It was pretty awful. Let's see. Yes, there's another tab in the back. Okay. Oh yeah, I felt it. There it goes. Okay. Oh gosh. So there's a little tab right here that you got to push on to help release the floppy drive. Oh, this looks like a nightmare. This looks like a very complicated mess. Woo. All right. Well, let's sit this guy on the floor and see what we got. Oh my gosh, this thing is heavy. Oh, this is heavy. It says only 40 pounds. I don't believe it. Not with that SD drive in there. Okay. How old is this machine? Oh, geez. Epitronics could probably tell you. 1987-ish. There you go. Okay. Now we need some tools. Oh yeah, I have another one here. I think this one is from my Model 95 that I gave away a long time ago. I think, yeah, they're not compatible. All right, gotta go find that screwdriver that just launched. My screws are askew. Okay. So Ian Scott, since you are here, what's the chances that we're going to get a picogus for that microchannel? That's one of the things I'm missing on this machine is I need a sound card for it. Epitronics did some really nice videos on excuse me. Look at how complicated this thing is. On sound cards for the microchannel. Maybe more than one. I have plenty of RAM in this thing. I think it's like 12 megs. It's kind of interesting. This might be a Sony drive. The way that the little rollers on the side are remind me of a Mac. Alright, get that screw off. Tech Ambrosia's here. Hello. Yeah, I'm not looking forward into this project. I think that's why I've been putting this project off for so long. Because I really did not want to do it. I don't smell anything. I see plenty of corrosion. Nice little prevent static discharge thing there. Oops, we might not have done that. And then there's 2 more caps hiding under there. Woot. Yeah, there are some nice microchannel sound cards available these days. Much easier to find them than back when I had a PS2. I don't know if anyone saw, I'm sure everyone saw Steve's video he did, or stream, a few months ago, or a month ago, where he picked up a couple of, or it was 3 IBM PS2 Model 80s, or Model 70s. And that is the model that started me on computing. I'm actually insanely jealous that he got those, because I contacted the dude to try to get them, and the dude ignored me. Let's go into the microscope here. So yeah, my very first PC, so, not that, there we go. So I had a Apple IIgs growing up, which you might have seen behind me at some point. Let's see if we can see what these cap values are. Gonna have to raise this a little higher. But when I started like high school and needed to write more papers and stuff, I felt like I needed a PC. And so my dad trash picked me an IBM PS2 Model 70, and that's it. It didn't work. It had the same issue where the reference disk was misconfigured, and so that's what started me troubleshooting PCs back in the day. Okay, 22 microfarad, 0.22 microfarad, 1 microfarad. Okay. So we gotta find some caps. Let's see if we can find some caps. That's not right. That's not right. We might be done even before we start today. I thought I would have all the caps I needed for this thing, but maybe not. Let's see. Hmm. 22 microfarad. What do we need for voltage? Nope, that's 0.22. So this is one of the issues with this kind of microscope, is that the focal distance, 22 microfarad, 6 volts. 22 microfarad, oh no, 16 volts. Nope, that's a fail. That's a fail. That's a fail. Oh, we're so failing today. There we go, 22 microfarad. Oh, these are too big. Dang. Well, I got some cheapos. I guess this will have to do. Oh, sorry. All right, I think I have. No, I have them. I have that size in. No, I don't. Let's wick these off anyway. All right, let's get the hot tweezers out. Let's see how bad this is. We can kind of see there's some corrosion happening. But let's see. Oh, I can smell it. I can definitely smell it. So that's 22 microfarad. They didn't smell until I heated them up a little bit. So that means it's not too awful. Okay, so remind me, 22 microfarads, 16 volts on those back ones. Hot tweezers get really nasty when I do this. That one is a 1 microfarad. Come on, 50 volts. Gonna just set up a little map over here for myself. That one, 0.22 microfarad, 50 volts. Point 22, 50 volts. Yeah. All right, let's take a look around this board. That little variable resistor is kind of nasty looking. Eek. Eek. Eep. Mac 84 is here. How's it going, Steve? hot tweezers, not to be confused with sexy tweezers. uh, well, this is sad. Alright, let's get this one. Oh, you cannot see anything. Let me put down the hot tweezers before I double burn myself. Okay, that's... Oh, the microscope. Oh man, this feels like a Mac 84 stream. I'm sorry. Alright, that was mean. Alright, that one's 33 microfarad, 25 volt. Let's clean off our hot tweezers. I think the hot tweezers are kind of sexy. I know I've enjoyed having them since I got them. I don't use them a ton, but in situations like this, especially where you don't want to use the hot air to go down inside this thing while I still have it assembled, they work really well for this kind of thing. There we go. Oh, these two are not bad. I probably could have gotten away with not replacing those two, but since we're in here, we may as well replace everything. Okay, so now we're gonna just plop. Oh, my flux is very, very excited. There we go. Jack 68K wants to see more of the big floppy drive. Yeah, we'll get that out next. I've never taken one of those apart, so we'll see what's in there. Not too much grossness in there. That's nice. Using our solder braid, just wick up that old solder. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh. Does anyone pay attention to what side was negative? These are not labeled very clearly. I'm hoping that that big circle is the negative. Roll back the stream. Oh man. This is annoying. I really wish I had all the tants I need. I thought I had them all. I thought I looked this up. Yeah, I don't even have the right SMD ones. Dang. Dang, yo. Thank you, Callan and Francois. Okay, so I did find 1 microfarad. 50 volt. So at least we can put that one in. Man, this is gonna be a fail stream. Epic mega fail stream. Oh well. So I just got in a big batch of caps to redo the game gears, and I realized that I forgot to order some, so at least I'll have the chance to order some more stuff. 33. Yeah. I don't have 33 Monka Farad. Alright, well, let's take apart this floppy drive. The other floppy drive, the big floppy drive. Alright. And so here's these. These are all labeled with positives, so that's easy enough to figure out. And I guess I should give this a little bit of a vinegar soak or something anyway, because look at how corroded that is. That thing doesn't look great. That's a little scarfy. Okay. Let's switch over to the other thing. Get this floppy drive apart. Dang, what a mess. What a freaking mess. That's why you never assume that you have everything you need. Gotta move these all in a very particular order. Ugh. Okay, so let's take a look at this floppy drive. It might have some weird caps. The fun bit about it, you can see dust from the potting shed. Apparently someone was very worried that their floppy drive was going to get stolen, you know, because they were high dollar items back in the day. I'll have to figure out a way to get that off. Okay, what do we got here? Phillips. Weird security thing. Super. That doesn't look like a regular Torx. But let's see. Definitely not T15. Well, that fits in there. So it's somewhat a security Torx, so it's a T10. It's not pentalobe. No, it's 6. But it's like squares. Jack 68K says security screws so that you're not exposed to the high voltage inside. Yes. If anyone happened to be watching Dave's Vintage Apple Tech last weekend, I was working on my Apple IIc color monitor, which had decided to lose its vertical hold. And yeah, it's not perfect. And I discharged the CRT on my hand. So that was unpleasant. So yeah, this T10 works, but that's not a regular security Torx. Let's see how the edges are square. That's interesting. So yeah, that was rather unpleasant. I would highly suggest not doing that. So I'm going to be making a CRT discharge tool at some point. So I'll take you along for that ride. Yeah, so if you want to see me get shocked by the CRT, I pulled a little clip out of Dave's stream. So go look up his stream on Mastodon, and I responded to it with a clip. So his announcement for the stream last weekend. It's not worth the views. Think of how many views I would have gotten. Idiot fries himself on stream. So this thing I don't think has been plugged in since probably 1986-ish. So I don't think we're in any danger of having caps discharge. Callan says it's character building. Yeah. Come on. Seems to be clipped in the front somehow. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, there were a little couple clips on each side there. Ooh, this is dirty. It might have been in a shed. Wow. This reminds me of like a compact or a Commodore floppy drive. Yeah, good thing I didn't plug this thing in right away. This thing needs some major cleaning. This needs some III DIY treatment. Got bombs like gloves time. Yeah, there's nothing living. I did wipe down the outside of this thing with bleach wipes. So nothing crawled out of it and lived. That's kind of gross. Hey, Sloopy. Okay. Yeah, look at that beautiful rainbow. It's a lot of layers. This is like over-engineered like an IBM. Oh, it is an IBM. Got screws all over the place here. So these are the ones that go down into plastic. Got special grounding. Man, IBM. David Starbucks says, that looks lickable. So we seem to have some clips, yeah, additional clips on the bottom. There's grossness inside there. There goes our switch. Sounds good. The inside of the switch doesn't look bad. Mac84 says, I have you on in the background as I figure out how to read DDS tapes on a PPC Mac. That's not esoteric at all. Shouldn't I be wearing a white dress shirt with blue pinstripes while working on this? Come on now. IBMs were not that corporate, right? gets the screws in there. Yeah, that cable is nasty. Clean that. Look how nasty my fingers are. Yeah, we gotta end this stream early anyway because I gotta go wash my hands. I should have been wearing gloves. Why didn't anyone tell me to wear gloves? One more. Okay. Power supply is out. Wow. Wow. We gotta get inside here. I want to get inside here. Mostly to clean it out, but it's also very difficult to see. I don't think I see any refos, but I would like to be able to see more clearly. And how is this thing held together? Rivets. So we're gonna have to drill this thing out. It is quite the power supply for just a floppy drive. That is pretty impressive. Let's take a look at this floppy drive. I still want to know if it's a 1.2 or a 360K. I would imagine it's a 1.2. It kind of looks like it's IBM PS2 era, and I think they had mostly moved to 1.2s by that point. Lots of screws, lots of metal, lots of power supply. Oh, Electronics says it's 360K drive. Dang. Look at that. Look at this. I mean, besides it being disgusting, like, that is a heck of a mounting bracket. They were really worried about their device security. Okay, so this thing's gross. This is gonna take a little bath. So we're not gonna power that up today. Let's take a floppy drive apart. Oh no, there's a bug and it's moving. Look at it, you can see it moving. Oh, it's dead now. There were living things in here. Oh, that's nasty. Tech Ambrosia says, a floppy drive designed to survive nuclear attack by the Soviets. Yeah, now I don't want to open it up too much. I mentioned before that I ripped a tree stump out last week, and I don't think I mentioned that there were these giant bugs that were like under it. They were like aliens. They were pink and had a bunch of legs. Like, they looked like the mother grub or something. Like, it was really awful. I sent them back to hell with fire. Think of all the bug poop that's on my hands. Yep. I do it for you all. Yeah, I think those bugs might have been there since like before the tree existed. So they're probably bugs from like the 1800s. At least all that metal kept this all nice and clean. So there's our part number DFC222B05A. It's on there twice. It's an Alps drive, apparently. But there says Sankyo. Lots of caps in this one. Generally caps from the 80s are okay, but these are tiny caps, so maybe we'll recap this thing. You can see it's got the nice mechanical actuator. Let's see how difficult that is to move. It probably needs to be lubricated. Yeah, that's gonna need some lubrication, but it's moving all right. All right, cool. Yeah, I love these old actuators on these things. So that feels pretty good. Yeah, that's moving reasonably smoothly. So cool. That's good. This core thing. I'm gonna have to go get the drill. Hold on and look at this. Keep your eye out and see if any more bugs start crawling out of this thing as I step away for a moment. Alright. So, safety. Make sure to wear your safety glasses when you do this kind of thing. Maybe wear some big gloves so that you don't get metal shards in your hands. All that kind of stuff. Safety, safety, safety. Never do what you see me do here on the Big Bad Bench. As I said on Facebook, don't do what Donnie Don't does. And I think I80386SX got that reference. Okay, here we go. There it goes. Gone. There it goes. Okay. We used power tools on the stream today. We saw bugs on the stream today. We did not fix a gosh darn thing on the stream today. Let's clean up some of this mess. Here's that. Okay. And now the Big Bad Bench is full of metal shards, yes. Okay, so that was the main things. Now we have these little clasps holding it together. So we should be able to get those with these pliers. There you go. Francois has been doing excellent work on a 486 recently, so go check him out on Twitch. Alright, so we got a little plug there. Oh, this thing's nasty. Oh, good thing we took that apart. Look at that. It's like they dumped pesticides in it. Maybe they knew it was infested. Yeah, it's gonna need a little bit of a bath. Got some corrosion down in here. Oof. Big oof. Let's see, that got us totally disconnected from that board. Well, there's no REFAs. Maybe, is there a REFA hiding in here maybe? I would hope not. It does say noise filter, which would make me think that there's capacitors in there, at the very least. At least if they're inside that little can and they explode, then, you know, the stank will stay inside that little can, right? The bottom of the PCB looks great. Top of the PCB, not so great. Yeah, so that's going to need a bath, ultrasonic bath. Okay. Let's take this little can off. I might need to do some rust repair on this, prevent that corrosion from spreading. Sorry, I'm using my iFixit screwdriver for this. I should be using my regular one, but I can't find my regular one. Yeah, I'll definitely have to change the water in the ultrasonic bath after this. Oh, dang it. The little can is soldered shut. That is going to be a bear to open up. Huh. Let's free this up from this thing. Let's see if we can get that opened up. They fed that through there like that. Sure. All right. At least we're clear of that one. All right. Let's try to pop that open. Let's use some hot air. Because why not? Yeah, you can get replacement IEC connectors with the fancy wiring. Okay, here's another situation. Don't do what I do. All right, I've removed the shielding, or the I don't know, what do you call that little thing that helps the focuser? I don't know, it tells the hot air where to go. I totally removed that. So we're blowing our air in a lot of places. Just gonna keep heating this up. I'm gonna try to keep the heat in the middle. We're doing 380 degrees right now. I'm gonna try to keep the heat in the middle. so that we don't melt the plastic too much, just in case we can get this thing apart without destroying it. Nozzle, there we go, there's the word. Oh, and Epitronics reminds me that it might actually be potted. Whatever. We will find out. This thing's going to absorb some heat, so this is going to take a little while. Felt it move. I'm adding more force here than I normally would for a desoldering project because we're basically just like prying on metal. If we were yanking on a cap, I would not be applying this much force to it. But, all right, and the other really dangerous thing about this is as I'm prying this, there's a good chance that there's going to be like solder spraying out everywhere. That will be very hot. So you can see it moved a little bit. Uh-oh, I think I feel the potting inside. Ow, it's hot. Ow, that thing is hot. There we go. Now we're making no progress. Gonna need bigger pliers. Jeebus. Oh, there we go. We're free. Wow, we did that without really destroying anything. Well, that heat shield. We destroyed the heat shield. Ow, that's gonna burn through the big bad bench. Okay, well that was a successful venture. There are no reefas in there. I don't want to touch that thing. Oh, I just itched my face with my nasty hands. Ugh. Oh look, it's the capacitors we need to fix the floppy drive. No, that's not really what we found. This thing is gonna be burny. So there, solid caps. That's nice. So technically we didn't have to do that, but DIY says, I would feel bad for your face, but... Oh, wow, there's like a whole inductor in there. That's neat. So they got a coil and 3 caps. Very cool. All right, well, solder it back together. I could, but I'm not going to right now. Well, today was such an epic fail stream. Oh, I'm so upset. But hopefully y'all got a kick out of me struggling with this mess. Oh, I have so much stuff to clean up. We have this nasty thing. This needs to be cleaned. We'll definitely clean this before we clean that. This all needs to be cleaned, but not an ultrasonic bath. That needs a whole different kind of bath. So dang. Well. At least I can rest easy, knowing that there were leaky caps inside this floppy drive was making my brain itch. So we're at least okay there. My brain is a little less itchy than it was. I still have a couple PowerBook screens that are itching my brain, but we'll hold off on those. So I guess we'll be back next weekend working on the PS2 Model 80 again. So yeah, we'll take what we can get. So I want to thank everyone for stopping by. It's always so awesome to hang out with y'all. And make sure to check out Tech Ambrosia is streaming tonight with a very cool Macintosh. And as always, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech is streaming tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tech Ambrosia tonight is 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, I will see you all next week. Have a lovely week, y'all. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us as I bang my head against the PS2 Model 80.